So I am going to give a little bit of a fast-track presentation. There's a lot of detail in my executive director's report, and so I won't go into each and everything, but it's on the website and there are hyperlinks. So one of the Fola had a strategic retreat last summer, and one of the things that came up was really how to get more news coverage, get more public awareness for what it is that we do. And so one of the things, in addition to submissions that we put forward regularly, we've been putting out press releases after each one and on other topics as well. And you can see that these are our media releases here, and on the next slide is our coverage. And I think that has been, Doug has been very great at working on those and then pushing them out to make sure that we've got board availability to speak to them as well. So they generate interviews and then we get into the media. So we're excited about that, and we'll be pushing forward with more of that as the year progresses and onwards. Keeping you guys informed. A big thing that we do, and this is really since COVID, is that we've gotten much more proactive in making sure that we're giving you updates that are relevant to you and to your members. At least I hope so. So we've been doing weekly updates, monthly updates, which get uploaded to the website. The weekly updates don't. And usually what happens is the information that is still relevant from the weekly updates to the monthly one gets included in that. So sometimes you see some repetition in the monthly ones, but that's because it goes onto their the website, and so you can refer to that a bit later. A members response unit, and this really was because of COVID, and we've sort of loosely kept it going. And that's when you guys have any questions at all, you just fire them at us, and we can find and dig through who to contact in order to get that information for you, so you're not off randomly emailing a whole bunch of different people, not knowing where to go. So it can be about the government, courts, any process with the Law Society. You name it, you send me an email, and I will do the homework for you. And that's just it's like an easier touch point so that you don't find yourselves getting lost in the maze that it can sometimes feel like to get the right answer on something. Or you can bump up a concern, and so we're actually trying to change something that comes across your desk. We also have a monthly newsletter, and that's not just for members only. Anyone, even the public, members of the public could sign up for it, and that goes out monthly as well at the first of the month. The monthly updates tend to go out in the middle of the month. And we put forward information about member events, and so please share them with me. I'll get into that a little bit later very quickly too, but any time you guys are in the news or that you have an event coming up and want us to help promote it, we're happy to do that. We've got a section on our website, and it can be included in the newsletter. We're active on social media, probably more so on Twitter than any other channel, but every now and then our LinkedIn gets kicked up a notch, and it becomes more used. But generally it's Twitter. Our Facebook is our least not least used, but least visited, I should say. And then current consultations. So we've built out a section on our website that promotes and features what we're consulting on right now, and we push out that information to make you aware of that in the weekly and monthly updates as well. I want to touch on Lobby Day because our advocacy is a big part of Fola as well, and the Lobby Days were relatively new. That also came out of a strategic retreat a few years ago, though, of how we can get on the government's radar a little bit more. And one of the things, I was an in-house lobbyist at the Ontario Medical Association for a while, and they were doing lobby days. I love them. I think they're a lot of fun. They're a lot of work. But what it does is it gets our members in front of, whether it's virtually or in person, in front of elected members of parliament, elected members of provincial parliament. We've been focusing on Queen's Park. Their staffers, and maybe in the future we'll look at senior bureaucrats as well. But really it's the elected people and their staff. And this doesn't just include the members of the governing party, so it's the opposition as well. It's a nonpartisan approach. But generally when we're focusing on staff, it's the staff within the minister's office because they are the ones that get to deal with the files. It's not for presidents only. It's anyone who belongs to a law association can come. So I strongly encourage you to talk about this with your associations and encourage people to sign up for it and join us. We will be doing it again next year. We haven't picked the date yet, and it's still up in the air whether it's going to be in person or virtual. I did a post Lobby Day survey to find out what people's preference was, and it was pretty much a 50-50 split. So we're still sort of weighing how to do that. We prep you for it. So we do a lot of work to get you up on the talking points of the key issues. We make sure that you're going to write the sessions that are relevant to you and not ones that you don't necessarily want to attend. Generally, meetings with the cabinet ministers and opposition members are open forums, so anyone can come. And then we have the meetings with the staff that are a little bit smaller and roundtable conversations, so that they tend to be, not everyone attends them, you sort of pick and choose. We do host by Zoom, and this would remain the situation even if we go back to in-person, but we do prep sessions. So we make sure that you guys have a chance to ask us questions, add anything to the talking points, take away stuff from the talking points that you don't necessarily agree with or that we're not unified on. And then we record those so that people who weren't able to attend the pre-session can view that later. We circulate the talking points in advance so that you can read up on them, amend them, whatever. And we hold a virtual, it's a virtual, but Lobby Day one-on-one just to explain it. If anyone's curious, hasn't been before, and they want to learn what it's all about and what's the point of it, they can come to that too. And it also includes tips on how to talk to a staffer versus an MPP or a cabinet minister. There's different things you want to accentuate in different meetings. I've got the highlights listed there. I won't go into them, but I do really recommend that if you've never been to one, that you attend. I think they're pretty exciting. And then we encourage you to keep the conversation going. Another thing that we do during Lobby Day is to anyone who wants it and requests it, is that we, Fola, I will arrange for a meeting with their own individual MPP. And that can be on Lobby Day. We've been doing that virtually, so we set that up. Or as close to Lobby Day as possible where it's in the constituency office and it's in person. I arrange that for people, but what I encourage people to do is carry on that conversation, and so that you generate a relationship with your local MPP, because what we find is that, and I'm sure this is no surprise to you, but justice issues just don't rank up there in terms of number one on the agenda for cabinet ministers, MPPs, government, the premier's office, right? It's not the thing that they wake up in the first thing in the morning and say, justice issues, that's the number one thing I want to deal with. So we want to make sure that that is what they think about, and if not, it's at least second maybe to healthcare, which is always number one. But we need that up there, and the only way it stays up there is if you guys are engaging and bringing the issues to your MPP and making them realize that these aren't just issues that relate to lawyers, but relate to everyone who votes for them. Because they do. I mean, almost everyone in the province is going to have some touch point with a lawyer throughout their life. And I think that, you guys hear and touch those issues that their constituents do, and that's what they need to know. And having a good relationship with your MPP never hurts. And also talk to your local reporters and get it in the news. This is something that Fola has been, trying to do. I get it's hard, and I get the local kind of flavor of journalists is kind of almost a dying breed, but they do exist, especially in local print media, and people do read that still. There's local radio, and even Fola doesn't get in National Post or the Globe and Mail, but we try. We definitely try, because sometimes an issue like bail reform comes up and then we get thought about. So I think it's important to make those touch points and spread the word about what you do, and in your community, as our dinner speaker said last night, be proud of what you do and back it up. And so I've got some talking points on why you should meet with your MPP, because it does amplify and get that message on their radar screen. But grassroots lobbying is important, and here are some key positions why. If anyone on your board is saying we don't really need to do this, I think that these can really help you formulate a reason why. I know that it's you might even want on your board a government relations or a liaison to the government kind of position that serves in that purpose. Some people love to roll up their sleeves and really deal with the elected members, and it's fun for them. And so it doesn't hurt to have that as a board level position. So one of the things that I know I'm jumping, fast forwarding here, but the venture election, so it's been talked about by everyone who's been up at the podium so far, so I'm not going to be left out of that conversation. So I know you are all aware of the work we did with the survey and getting people's positions. We did focus on a number of issues, not just library funding. So legal aid was in there. We had issues about paralegals, and we had whether or not they were a law association member and how active they were in their law association. We did have 87 lawyer candidates participated. We ran a huge social media campaign, and I can't say enough how important the TLA was in this. I mean, it was the staff and the support from the board. TLA and Fola really joined forces and really worked hard on that. So I think I see Joan nodding her head, and that is Joan. So thank you, Joan. Joan and I worked closely together, but also we had some staff that were involved in that too. She had staff, I had volunteers. I don't have staff, but whatever. And we were involved. But that was good, so we had consistent branding. And we framed the ballot question. So when it came down to it, the number one most important issue on the ballot was library funding. So I kind of felt like it was taking a page out of, well, the Stop SOP guys from the first campaign, where that was the ballot question for them. That was the Stop SOP campaign. When they became elected, they had all sorts of different issues that they brought before Congress, but that was the election issue. And it was also the post-media coverage of the 2000 campaign in the US, which was Florida, Florida, Florida. You know, you just keep it simple. And we defined that, and we sent out 6, I call them GOTV, but that stands for Get Out the Vote. So we sent out lots of reminders, making sure people were going to vote. The voter participation turnout, it wasn't so bad this year, but it's still low. Like, you guys aren't voting for your own profession, so we just need to keep reminding people, and we'll do that again the next venture elections. That wasn't unique to this set of venture elections. The importance of the law association memberships voting at the venture elections is critical because, well, what the Law Society says really impacts your lives and your work. We sent out a press release congratulating all the new benchers after, and we also did a sort of an intro to Fola, sort of a Fola 101, sending it to all the benchers as well, so that they can learn about Fola. We hope that they read it, but that was a document that we included that too. And we've invited them to pop into the hospitality suites throughout here if they happen to be in Toronto. Fola, we've got a mental health session on the agenda for plenary this time, and we've been trying to do that at almost every plenary. Mental health consistently ranks up as a big issue for practicing lawyers. And so we want to make sure that you guys hear from people in your profession who have stories that they want to share, life experience, and resources that are available. On our website, we have a number of resources. And so I encourage you to get on, check out the website and visit the mental health page and share those resources with your members. Just a quick plug for the Ontario Not-for-Profit Act. I'm sure you're all aware we did a big session on it. I think it was last plenary. It might have been 2 ago now. But this is coming down the pipes, and this is kind of the year to do it. Fola's been really working hard on getting our bylaws amended to deal with this one, and so we encourage you to too. Cleo's got the bylaw builder, and obviously if you want some legal help with that, you guys know how to ask for legal help to help you with your bylaws. Sure, I don't need to explain that. The Coach and Advisor Network, we've got one of the breakout sessions is on this, so I've just have this as a slide so that the resources are there on the website for you. But be sure, we're a big proponent of the mentoring side of things and encouraging our members to join that. Awards, we are announcing our awards for the next set of winners. It will be at the November plenary, and I don't have a single nomination in yet for any category. So get them in. We want people nominated. We know you guys work hard. There's the President's Award for a current or past president. We've got the Luminary Award for a library staff. And we've got the Emerging Leader Award, which is we've redefined it. It used to be the Distinguished Member Award, and we've created a new award and replaced that one. So check out the forms are so easy. We've got the quickest forms. You don't need to send in bios and resumes and all that stuff. Really simple forms. We've kept it easy. So please get nominations in. We offer a number of member rewards for you. If we really want to encourage you guys to use this, because every now and then we are at risk of losing a member benefit if they're not seeing a value in that in advertising with us. But I really, really encourage you to not just use them, but to come to me at any point with an idea. If you guys see something that another association has as a perk of membership and we aren't offering that, talk to me. I'll see what I can do about getting that. I'm more than happy to try and provide as many as I can of that. The other thing we have, one of our sponsors here today too, is CPD Online. And they, I love this term, but kickbacks. They'll give kickbacks to the association for stuff that you do. So members in your association who sign up for CPD Online, they'll track it by postal code and they'll give you a certain dollar amount for that. And also, if you send them your CPD content by video, you can get in royalties for that, and that's where that big number comes from. It's from associations, and there are only about 5 or 6 associations participating in that right now, and they're generating quite a healthy amount of profit just from CPD content that they've already done for their members and charged for, and now they're selling licensing rights to the CPD Online guys. So, more awards. You'll see the image of the Bell one. Bell changes its benefit, it's a member reward thing with us about every month or so, and so we've got a brand new feature up on the website right now if you're thinking of switching over to Bell. And then another organization that we belong to or work with are American organizations. One's the National Association of Bar, it used to be Executives, it's now called Presidents, but they still have the acronym NABI for some reason. And then the National Conference for Bar Presidents. So one's for people like me, the staff, and one's for Doug, the board level, the president. And they're great. We learn best practices, what other states are doing, what other small associations are doing. Sometimes you hear people from like the Los Angeles or San Diego Law Association talk. They've got staff of like 100. So we're like, okay, I can't, that doesn't relate to me. But some of the smaller ones, it's really helpful. I find them very useful. I go down to their government relations workshops and I just learn a ton as to how they're really working with their members to amplify their voices. They are, and any association can send someone. It doesn't have to be like a Fola NABI thing. Hamilton tends to send some people. I think Toronto has in the past. And I think Carleton County County of Carleton has sent some people. So they're valuable. I encourage people to go. Fola Online, you'll see this is, we've changed our website since now, but this is just an example of some of the work we were doing during the Bencher election to help promote that. And we have limited time pages. The Bencher election was one of them. We got, I think it's gone up since then. It's about 2,700 page hits. But so during the Ontario election, we did a similar one. So these are pages that are only really there during the length of the campaign life cycle. And our Ontario election was the #1 page, most visited page during that life cycle too. So they're great. It's a great way to get traffic to our website. I go through some stats so you can see our social media stats, what videos are watched. I won't go into those. Reminding you to send us your content for our newsletters. I want to encourage everyone at the breaks to visit the sponsor booths because we can't put on this conference without them. And they do have great services and stuff available, and we encourage you to just chat with them and learn more about what it is that they're doing. This is the first time we've ever had a media sponsor at a Fola event, so we're really thrilled to have Canadian Lawyer. And I do want to do a special, I'm hoping this works because we had some difficulty with this morning, but play just a quick video of our sponsor for the hospitality
takes the
tonight.
guesswork out of law. Customers simply choose a subject area, answer a few simple questions, and get personalized instant fixed fee quotes from numerous vetted legal professionals through Lavo's proprietary pricing algorithm. Customers also have access to self-help legal tools that are available 24/7. Legal professionals have access to Lavo's full suite of virtual office, marketing, document management, video conferencing, client identity verification, and payment tools where you can market and practice law on your own terms from anywhere and at any time.
So one of the things I was excited, they're just a brand new company. They're kind of launching, they've soft launched, and they're really going hard in June. But they are the sponsors of the hospitality suite tonight, so that should make you like them because it's free drinks, right? So that's kind of nice. But definitely pepper them with questions. They've got a booth outside. As usual, I'm sending one of those surveys that I all want you to answer after plenary. Hopefully, so keep your eye on that, and the more responses they get, the better, because then we get to improve on what we're doing right now. And then if you have any questions, and I'm going to say this, but I'll probably say it a few times or remind you, cattle prod you somehow. If you have questions, please stand at the mics. It's not because I won't hear your question, it's because we need to capture it for the recording. So the recording guys need it. Any questions? You can ask now, but I'm here all day.